I watched a TikTok of a guy tell a story about how he met a woman who he thought was like in his 20s like her, and it was him and his guy friend, and she like saw them looking, and it was her. He the way he describes it, he's like, we were sitting at a table and we saw these big group of old girls sitting together with this one really pretty young girl. She was stunning. And she saw us looking and she came over to talk to us, and she immediately started hitting on my friend, which I thought was super weird. And so did he, because we've never had such a young girl like immediately come on so strong and be so confident. He's like, but also like her voice didn't match her face, and like the way she spoke didn't match. And then he goes, she eventually was like, well, you know, me and my girls have been friends for years and years. And he's like, I'm so confused.
70s.
Like, what are you talking about? And she finally was like, you know, I bought this face in Guadalajara. And he was like, he goes, these facelifts are not playing around. He goes, we were so excited to be hit on by this girl.
Wow. Welcome back to the And Also podcast with your hosts, me, Summery Dean, Sheyda Fasari, and Madeline Guiney. So grab a drink and get cozy. You have now entered the group chat.
Guys, welcome back to the And Also podcast. We are here. We are ready. It is hot. It is summer. And we have some interesting things to talk about today. We are going to call this episode Do As We Say, Not As We Did. And we're kind of just going to talk about the things that we have done in our lives that we maybe regret, things we wish we had done sooner, things that we wish we had learned sooner, and things we wish we could tell our younger selves. So here we are. Welcome back.
I want to know what's the dumbest thing you guys did in your 20s.
Oh boy.
What's the one thing you look at where you go, actually, what the hell was I thinking?
Ooh.
If you could go back, and here's the thing, maybe you don't change it all, but maybe you would have approached it differently. Maybe you would have done something different.
I feel like I would have taken more risks or took more risks, I guess. I feel like we always talk about our darty dress. Our like freshman year of college, Summer and I were like, we need to capitalize on like being young and cool and like trying to start a business. And we came up with this idea to have a darty dress. And it was like when, I don't even know, they're not like Fisher shirts, but they're like those Columbia kind of like fishing button downs. And we had this idea to like, make them like cool, and you could wear them as like a dress almost with like boots or sneakers to a party or a day party.
Yeah, it was when we were in college. So we were going to Darty's day parties all the time. And we were like, it would be so cool to have this like exciting thing that you would see all the girls in. Like, I feel like we were going to try to make it really cool. And
yeah. And we just like never followed through. We did. We had a business meeting.
We had one business meeting over charcuterie and wine at your parents' house. And then we didn't do anything with it.
Yeah. But I think like that could be applied to so many things. Our original podcast, everything works out in the end.
Everything works out in the end.
But I think there were a lot of things I held myself back from just out of like pure, I don't want to, like, what will people think of me? Or I don't know. And I regret a lot of that, of not just like putting myself out there. Like, I think if we were posting on social media, like influencers in college, we would have been mega celebrities by now, because we were very fun and outgoing and had big personalities. We still do, but I think if we had started sooner, it's like investing, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, I regret not investing sooner.
Yeah.
Compounded interest.
Yeah. Well, it's also tough too, because I think especially right now, there's so many businesses that are starting on TikTok or utilizing TikTok to their advantage. And even going back to the darty dress, it's like, obviously TikTok wasn't a thing back then, dating ourselves a little bit there. But yeah, it's like they're doing it. They're, you know, these young girls are doing it now. These young guys and girls are doing it now. It's like, why didn't we have the follow through? I feel like my reason for not doing some of the stuff that we talked about was more like ADHD brain. Like I was just like, okay, on to the next thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's go to the next thing. Like, just like not grinding and like putting the head down and like doing it and staying consistent.
Yeah.
So.
Sheyda?
What do you think is your...
I think for me, the most difficult thing that I dealt with in my 20s was my physical appearance due to my medical stuff. And I wish I had taken a different route sooner. You know what I mean? Like from 21 to 30, it was 9 years where I was 50 to 60 pounds heavier than this, and working out every day and trying to eat in a calorie deficit and on all these different medications, and just trusting what doctors were saying, trusting that things were going to change or heal or fix on their own, and that all this medication was going to do something, and it obviously did nothing at all. And I think my biggest regret, because of how self-conscious I was about my body, you know, I also didn't take risks. I also didn't feel like I could do things or feel like I wanted to do things because I felt so insecure about the way I was physically. And also, like, I had the most beautiful friends, and I still do, but like I really felt like I was like the duff of the friend group. And it was just, so it was constantly like a holdback for me. So I think I would have tried to change things sooner, because it wasn't until my late 20s that I took everything into my own hands and figured things out on my own.
I think that's super relatable too. Like I remember periods of my life where I just felt like, oh, like I don't need to work out, or oh, I don't need to, not saying that's your situation, but like I just didn't take care of myself as good as I do now. And the way that my mindset works now is like, this is truly the youngest we'll ever be. So it's like, why not be in the, like, honor your body, like be in the best situation you can.
Yeah.
I feel like my biggest regret kind of has to do with like men and relationships. And I just feel like when I wasn't feeling my best about myself, like confidence wise, I just gave like really awful guys opportunities to be with me. And I feel like that's looking back, it's such a mistake, because it's like, why would I ever give people like that the opportunity to be with me? But I don't know, I think as you get older too, you have a little bit more like self-worth, and you kind of know yourself more.
I know it's so hard to like say that I regret anything, really, because if I didn't have like the years where I felt out of control and like I was suffering and like I didn't understand what was going on with my body, like I don't know that I would be so invested in health now and be so health conscious about what's going on with my body. And, you know, I do extra things to figure out every, you know, minute detail, every minute thing. And even now I'm still finding things out about my body today that you know, it's scary to find out, because I deal with a lot of autoimmune stuff. And it's overwhelming, but at the same time, at least I'm figuring it out. And I'm, you know, 33, or I'm going to be 33 in September. And so I maybe am going to get ahead of something that could have been really detrimental 7 years from now or 10 years from now if I had not had a hold of the reins of my own health and my own body the way that I do now, because of everything that I went through in my 20s. So, and you know, summer with giving men I should never have, because I was so insecure about my body. I was like, well, I shall feel lucky that this guy is even into me, because of the lack of confidence I had in my own physical appearance. I always like, I think, and this is my own issue, I think I was always like, felt lucky whenever a man gave me attention, which is so sad to think about now. And now I really, truly, you know, I hold a lot more standard in what I really want in my space. But at the time I really let it be like, I should feel good about this because I'm getting attention, period.
Mm-hmm. I feel like honestly that in itself is just like relatable to kind of like any younger girl. We had an episode a couple weeks ago where we were talking about, I don't even know what we're talking about, but it was kind of like what we accepted at that time and how a lot of what we accept now is very different. And you would want to tell your younger self, like, literally the bar is underground. Like, what are you doing? Like, stand up, sweetie. But so much of that just comes with maturity and like getting older. Cause like, I think back then I didn't see anything wrong with how I was acting or how I was behaving, especially with guys. Like I always thought that I was in control of what was happening. I was like, I know what I'm doing. And
Do you remember the Valentine's Day with?
oh my God, Sheyda will never let this go.
Wait, what happened?
Well, here's what I'll say is I would never hold standards for myself, but I would always abuse the girls.
That is correct. Okay.
That is
That's an honest.
I'd be like, we don't accept that kind of behavior. Meanwhile, I'm being dragged through the mud, and I'm like, this is fine, everything's fine. But she dated this guy on and off throughout college. And do we ever give him a nickname? Should we give him one?
That way we can stop having them bleep it.
Yes.
All you.
I don't know.
I would just want to call him Racetrack.
Twigs?
Twigs.
For
Let's
the
call him
legs.
Twigs because of his
Twigs.
tiny legs.
Brutal.
Brutal. He deserves it. So Twigs, which by the way, I don't know what stories we've told about him. It's her on and off college guy. It's the guy she flew to California to see. We've talked about him on here.
A lot of trauma.
A lot of trauma. It's the guy in the last episode or the episode before, like the perception episode, who showed her a respectable woman's Instagram. It's all that same guy. We hate him to death.
Wait, so what's this Valentine's Day story?
So he asked her to go to dinner on Valentine's.
Let me back up. So we were like, had just kind of casually started seeing each other. And he had said, do you want to like go get dinner on Friday or whatever? And I said, yes. He had to know it was Valentine's Day. I think he had. And the whole day he didn't text me. He didn't like confirm plans, didn't do anything. And I'm sitting there in my dorm room, like getting ready, like just assuming something's going to happen. And again, I hadn't heard from him all day. And
But also feeling anxiety. Like she's texting about it.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, what's happening? Why isn't he texting me? Should I still go? And they were all like planning to just like go do a girls' night, just at Sheyda's apartment. And Sheyda was like, why are you going? Like he hasn't reached out. Like he's just expecting that you're waiting around all day for him to be available. And I was like, but I am. I am available. Yeah. And I wanted to hang out. Like I was excited. Like I wanted to hang out so bad that I was sacrificing the standard of like, he should be excited to text me. He should be like reaching out. It was ridiculous. He hadn't texted me all day. Like that's insane. He was not that busy. And so I was kind of like, I just want to go. And Sheyda called me to the carpet a little bit and was like, you need to like stand your ground a little bit on this. Like he's making you look dumb. And he had texted me, like she basically was like, when he reaches out to confirm, you need to tell him like, sorry, I didn't hear from you all day. I made other plans. Like set the boundary of like, I'm not willing to accept this like literal bottom of the barrel standards from you. And so it worked.
What time did he reach out?
He reached out probably at like 5 or 6 maybe. And we were again, I had no idea what time we were going to go get dinner because all the confirmation of the plan I had was when he said something like the day before, like, let's go get dinner tomorrow. And he eventually reached out and was like, oh, I'm done with whatever at this time. Like I can come get you X, Y, and Z. And I remember wanting to be like, okay, I'm ready. And Sheyda literally was like, you cannot say that. Like you have to kind of stand up for yourself. And I did. And tell them what happened, Sheyda. This is Sheyda's proudest moment. She has never let it go.
He showed up at my apartment with flowers and chocolates and basically was like, I'm so sorry. Please let me take you out. Like, let me make this better.
Wait, what?
Exactly. And that is why do as I say, not as I do. Yes. It's maybe my tagline. It's my housewife tagline.
Yes. That's a great tagline for you.
Thank you so much.
Don't remember that story. I didn't remember that story.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very impactful for me to see it work in real time and to like, because I think a lot of my issues in that relationship was like literally just accepting the bare minimum and being like, oh, I'm just so happy for what I'm getting, like the nibbles. And I will say a lot of like that continued throughout the rest of the relationship. And I know this happens a lot, but it's like when it comes from someone that you weren't interested in to begin with and they kind of like turn on you and like, why am I more invested in this person that I didn't even like to begin with? Like I think it was more of an ego issue. I think a lot of my downfall in relationships comes from my big fat ego getting bruised. And that was one that I was like, I don't want to sacrifice my ego, but it worked out for the best in that scenario. That's a great example, Sheyda.
That is a really good example.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Do you have anything like that? Like what's an actual moment? I feel like we're talking about like the relationship aspect of it. Like, what were you accepting that you felt like you would never do now?
In my relationship with who we call Jason, I really just like we texted on and off for dang near 3 years, really. And I say texted, but I mean like I went back to his hometown, which was like an 18-hour drive, which we drove together, went to his best friend's wedding, like all this stuff. And when I asked him if we were dating, he was like, don't be crazy, which is just wild. And it took me a while because at the same time, like I wasn't necessarily like, I wasn't putting all my eggs in his basket. So I was kind of also like dating other people, having fun because he wasn't asking for monogamy or anything. And when I finally was like, either put up or shut up, and he was like, sorry, can't commit. And I actually put my foot down and I was like, I'm done. He has come back tenfold. He's been like, can we go on a walk? I'm in your neighborhood. I'm down the street. I can see your house from here where I'm standing right now. And I'm like, thanks. Hope all's well. And I feel great. But he was always the person who's always like, I don't chase. I don't do this. I don't do that. Da, 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 da. Because he is a large, beautiful man. And
beautiful is a gracious
Did you mean
word.
to say balding? No offense to people that are
bald
balding.
is beautiful. Okay.
Yes, it is.
And so that was kind of the most recent experience in which I was like, the second you put your foot down, and I think that's maybe what I would tell myself, my younger self, if I could pop back into time and look at 20
ago.
Yeah. No, 22-year-old Sheyda, if I could look at her, I would just say, ask for more, demand more.
Yeah.
Like even in little things, like if you just ask, you never know like where that can get you. And you should be demanding more from the people in your life. Like I have friends who love me and adore me and go the extra mile for me, and I do the same for them. And bare minimum, that's what a man should be doing in my life, or anyone should be doing in my life, because I work hard to be a good friend and to be a good person in anyone's life. And for me to be like accepting that someone can barely make time to text me is crazy. At any age, at any size, no matter what it is, like don't accept.
What do you think it is about being a young 20 or mid 20, whatever? What is it about being in your 20s that makes you more allowing of that behavior? Is it lack of experience? Is it self-esteem? Is it like, what about that?
I think it's a combo of that.
You think it's a combo? Is there anything else? Is there?
And it's your first time taking on the world, right? It's like your first real relationship or your first older guy. Like, you know what I mean? I was so sheltered. I really didn't date in high school.
I was going to ask, did anybody have high school boyfriends?
No.
Or what about middle school? Was anybody like middle school boyfriends?
I had like a middle school boyfriend. I had like a middle school to high school boy that I loved.
I'm going to say a real quick thing, which is the people that I knew that started having boyfriends in middle school all got into like earlier marriages, or like they were in like more serious relationships younger. Like I feel like the sooner you start dating, the sooner you start practicing what it is to be in a relationship. And honestly, that's like a kind of a regret that I have, if we're talking about teenage regrets, is I was like so afraid to have a relationship really, really young for some reason. Like in middle school and high school, like I really didn't want to do it. Like obviously everybody wants to like have a relationship, but I almost wish I had like allowed a little bit more practice in that area before I started really getting into relationships. Does that make sense? Like I wish I had a little bit more of like lighthearted, fun relationships.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I feel like those relationships aren't even relationships in a way.
No, but they're starter relationships. Like they're
Formative.
They're a little bit formative. They're the fun, lighthearted ones. And then I think if you just go straight into this like really emotional high school one or really emotional college one, I think you kind of like, you're so not used to it.
You're stunted.
That you're like, you just throw all your whole freaking back into it. Like
I always talk about this with one of our friends who is in a 2-year-long relationship, and it was like her first relationship in her mid-20s. And so it was like, the way I would compare this is that like she had the hormonal, like obsessive love of a 16-year-old, and she was dealing with a man who was older and also like showed her the world, was good at all the romance and all the stuff. And so I think it's so different when you're 16 and both of you are fumbling and awkward and odd and don't know, and you're both like madly in love and have your licenses for the first time, and it's different when like you're fragile and that's your first love at 25, 26, and you're like, this is love. Like, I'm in love. I'm going to get married. This is everything. And
you have nothing to compare it to.
You have nothing to compare it to. And if you didn't get that experience, because the first time you're in love, I feel like you think that. That is what you think. You're like, this is my
everyone thinks
person.
they're going to marry their high school boyfriend.
Yeah, and you give them, you sometimes lose your virginity to them, and you're just like, this is everything. They love me. I love them. I've given them my soul. We're going to, and then you eventually everyone has the downfall where they're crushed because you're teenagers, and you know nothing. But then if you're 26 and you have that for the first time, and you're dealing with a man who knows something about the world and has money and can treat you right, or not even treat you right, but can love bomb you and give you all the things that you think you want and whatever else. And then you're just so twisted up because
that's what you think love is. That's what you think a relationship is.
I always say like the healthiest thing about having a relationship in high school is you have the safeguards of like your parents. And not that my parents were like giving me any sort of relationship advice, but they were just setting boundaries of like, you cannot be with this person all the time. Like you have a curfew, and that's like the scary thing about having your first relationship while you're at college or as an adult, because you have the ability to spend all of your time, money, and energy together without even realizing like, oh my God, what else is going on in my life that I'm dropping the ball on? Like I remember in high school at one point I wanted to go to like my boyfriend's house, and my mom was like, it's your brother's birthday, like you will sit here and you will have dinner with us and you will have dessert with us and you will spend the night here because that we're all spending time together. Like it is insane that you want to skip your brother's birthday so you can go hang out with your boyfriend. Like, are you dumb? Are you dumb?
Yeah.
And I did. And like, to me, looking back, I'm like, I would have been so sad if I missed I don't even know what it was, but like at this point, like I would have been sad if I looked back and was like, why did I want to skip like a family moment like that to go hang out with my stupid boyfriend? Right. But that kind of like sets the standard for like, okay, when I'm in a relationship, I need to be able to set these boundaries of like what's important to me and not sacrifice all of my time for this person because I'm infatuated with them.
Totally. The first infatuation relationship is really tough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember my first toxic relationship, which you guys all know.
Remember it.
With, what did we call him? Military boy?
No. Neck brace.
Neck brace. Okay.
This man was so in love with Summer. This is just such a side note. He crashed his car for her to save their relationship. 1010%.
So I don't know if do you remember this? So
I think I do.
So that fall semester, we had a whole summer romance. Mind you, we started talking, and I didn't know this till later, the day after he had broke up with his last girlfriend of like 2 years. We met the next day and we started talking.
Oh.
So we spent this whole summer together. I was like so into him. I thought he was like so great. He came from like a nice family. So I thought all this stuff, like whatever. I go back to fall semester. We're trying to make it work. He comes to visit me. It's just getting weirder and weirder. I know that I'm losing interest. There's somebody else that I'm kind of like starting to gain interest with. And I was like, remember the Vanderbilt boy on the baseball team?
Oh.
So, I remember going home for Thanksgiving break, and he slept over my house, and I remember being like, hey, listen, and I remember being like pretty honest with him. I was like, I just don't think this is gonna work. I'm in Nashville, you're in Florida, like let's just not do this. I just don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, okay, whatever. And then I think it was like literally the next night, or maybe it was December break, he went out with some friends. I remember I was with my friend Carly. I decided not to hang out with him. He invited me out that night. I was like, you go. I don't really care what you're doing. Just go. And that night he crashed his car into a tree. Like his Jeep went up in flames and he broke his neck. And I remember it fucked me up so bad in the head because I was like, oh my God, I was just about to break up with this person. And he was like guilting me. And then I remember going to the hospital, and it was like, as a 19-year-old, that was like, I was like,
traumatic.
What the, like, and then I felt so guilty. So then I was going above and beyond to like try to make the relationship work to a detriment of everybody else. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And honestly, if I can go back to my 19, 20-year-old self, I would be like, this is not love. This is actually manipulation. This is like really toxic. What?
Why do we think that he crashed the car for you?
Because that night I had told him I didn't want to be with him. And then, so he had told my he had told like my friends, like my other friends, that he had like swerved because he hit a deer. And I was kind of friends with this girl that he was in his friend group. Like they were on the other side of town, and she had told me, oh no, he was really hammered and upset. And so like there was no deer, like he made that up.
I think he felt like he was 1000% like losing Summer and was like, I'm gonna be dramatic about something and like save the relationship with this, and it 1000% worked.
It worked.
My biggest regret is not punching him in the face
When you had the chance.
when I had the
I
chance.
really wish you did.
To keep the boyfriend.
Listen. Okay.
Oh.
What about in other aspects of life?
Well, before we get on to
Sure.
that, I want to just know, is there one rule that you live by now in relationships?
Be crazy up front. Literally show all your cards as much as possible, and if they're into it, they will be into it. Like, you can't be crazy to the right guy.
I would say when someone shows you who they are, believe it.
That's true.
When someone shows you who they are, believe it. And it doesn't even have to be a terrible thing, but it's who they are. So believe it. How about you?
I think mine is show me, don't tell me. I'm really sick of lip service from people.
Lip service. Wow.
See, but I love
Not the
words of
good kind.
affirmation.
I love words of affirmation. You can tell me how pretty and cute and wonderful I am, but also like, show me.
Yeah.
It's like the follow through of
Don't
what they're
tell me
going to do.
about all the things you're going to do. I don't want to hear about it. I just want you to do it.
I want both.
And then, well, here's the thing. You can start telling me things, but like, I'm so sick of like everyone, there's so many guys are like, oh, I'm going to show up and help you. I'm going to be there. And then nothing you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to hear one more thing about your plans. I just need to see the execution of said plan.
I saw this thing recently that said the most successful people are the ones that do not take that much time in between the thought and the action. The quicker you are to action, the more likely you are to be successful. Don't overthink it. Okay, going off of that, I guess a little bit, what's a lesson that you learned from maybe family or friends, like not having to do with dating? And I could start with this one, which is you have to be the friend you want. You have to be the partner that you want. You have to show up as the thing that you want. You can't expect something that you're not providing. And I think like showing up as that, friendships, the family member, the sister, the daughter that you want to be, you have to show up as that.
I think for me, it's to give with that expectation of return.
With or without?
Without. Like I mean, obviously I expect someone to be a friend to me the same way I'm a friend to them, but like in my act of friendship, whatever it be, showing up or loving you or doing whatever it is that I think you want or need from me, I should never ever do those things with an expectation that you will then give me something in return.
Mine is a little different, but it's more about like who you are as a person can get you a lot of times further in life than being the smartest person in the room. It's about being able to like connect with people and know how to read a room and what a person like wants from you and how you can give that to them.
The gift of being able to curate relationships is huge.
Yeah. I've always said
in the world of like successful anything. Like
Yeah.
I have seen people who are just good at forming and creating and keeping relationships who I would not say are the smartest people in the bag. Like, but they are so good at like just forming relationships, forming and keeping relationships, and it gets you so far.
But even just being able to have like a conversation with someone, like there's so many like insanely intelligent people that cannot like form a sentence with a stranger or like have a conversation in an elevator. And that's like something that I love about, I think all of us, is like we could talk to a wall and like get along with them. But to me, I've always had like a chameleon feature about myself of like I can blend in with any crowd that I'm in, which is sometimes a detriment, but I think it's also a skill and a way of being able to understand like social connections.
Yeah. I feel like you're one of my friends that I feel like I can bring you into any social circle and you'll thrive no matter what.
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah.
Sheyda's a little more jarring.
No, Sheyda, we have to have a disclaimer with you.
What kind of disclaimer?
That you're bold and brave and courageous and beautiful and lovely.
She's fucking lying.
To be fair, we've had to have some disclaimers with you, but like in a loving way.
How can I just ask out of curiosity?
It's not.
What is the disclaimer you give people when I'm not there to like prepare them for me?
You want to know what I actually just said to someone the other day about, Laura, shout out to Laura. She's an avid listener and she texted me about the podcast. And yes. And she said the sweetest thing about you. She, let me actually read it because it was really cute.
Oh,
it is a good thing.
Yeah. But I would love to tell you what I said about you at the end. It's funny. I said, I feel like this is a good description of, she said, I feel like I never got super close personally with Sheyda. We were always just friends because our friends were friends, but I feel like I truly feel like I know her more deeply after listening. I feel like I misunderstood certain things and maybe I just appreciate how she speaks about things now. And she said, and I was like, damn, should have been better friends with this motherfucker. She's dope. Which is like so Laura thing to say. Like I'm reading it in her voice and I just go, I'll tell her you said that. She's batshit crazy, but she's great and we love her.
Mm-hmm. Oh. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you say to people?
Yeah, I go, she's insane. And she'll probably say something that will hurt your feelings, but she's great.
Because you know this about you. You are...
Yeah, don't act like this is
one of the things you love about yourself is the fact that you tell it like it is.
Yeah. As in the words of Amaya, maybe I'm not your cup of tea and you shouldn't drink it.
Yeah.
But we be drinking it. We be drinking it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what about outside of the relationship space? Are there things that you would tell your 20-year-old self, maybe in career, maybe in that kind of, maybe money, anything like that?
I think the thing that I told Madeline over and over again was that, because I think for me, I was always the person who took the poor man's job to do the music thing or the art thing or whatever it was. And I don't regret that. And I love that. And I'm going to continue to do that. And the reason being is, you know, was it Jimmy Page that someone was interviewing? And the interviewer asked them, what's the secret? Like, what's the secret to making it? And his response was, I don't know, man. All I can tell you is that the ones who made it never gave up. Mm-hmm. And I think that I just believe that if I continue to do things I love and I'm passionate about, it's going to take me where I want to go. And I don't know what that looks like yet, but like I'm excited about it. And I think for Madeline, you always would kind of, your thing was like, I'm really going to push really, 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 really hard to get like financially comfortable and successful. And then I'll be happy one day. Like, cause I'll go do the thing that'll one day make me happy. And I think you broke recently and you were like, it's time to just be happy, which like we love.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing I have always said. And it's the thing I still believe, which is that like, do what you love and do it to the best of your ability. And it may not look the same way on day one as it does on day 400 and whatever it is, but the money will come, the life will come, the thing that you want will come. You just have to have faith and have the ability to endure.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you guys have both kind of taken a lot of different career paths of like what you're doing and how you're putting yourself out there. I know for me, obviously a big thing is like, again, I'm not trying to cry. So sorry. Of how people perceive me. I want to be perceived in a certain like light, especially in terms of my career. And even now, like I just actually recently quit my job, full-time stay-at-home girlfriend now. Just kidding. But I think kind of stepping into like whatever my next chapter is, I feel even in my own brain, like nervous to tell certain people of like, oh, I just quit my job that I just started. Like, because I'm like, I don't want people to think like whatever they're going to think, you know what I mean? And for me, that's like, it shouldn't even cross my mind. Like I'm on whatever journey I'm on to like kind of get that like happiness and excitement about what I'm doing. And I know that the money will come, but it's like the societal norms of like, oh, I'm unemployed. And that is like, not embarrassing to say, but like, it's a choice. But I think the like pressures of something like that kind of eat up at me. And where
do you think that comes from? Like, why do you want to be seen as like some...
Well, I think that's everyone. I mean, like our parents have pushed us to work. I mean, I relate to you greatly because when I started working at the clothing store and, you know, I don't make very much money at all. And and, you know, I'm working kind of I don't want to say menial, but it is like a very simple, I mean, it's difficult and every day that there's things going on, but it's not like tasked mentally. I'm not using my business degree. I'm not using my creative writing degree. And I'm a double degree honor roll student who works at a clothing store. And like when I told my dad that was what I was going to do, he and my mom told me later, but he said to my mom, he's like, I just feel so bad for her. Like that's what she's doing. And my mom was like, I think she's pretty happy. And I was like, yeah, like I am pretty happy. Like I'm not working in an aimless job, breaking my back for somebody else whose business I don't believe in just to make a check that makes, or to have a title or an annual income that makes somebody else proud. Like what I'd rather do is create a podcast and write a song and do these things that I'm passionate about and may hopefully positively impact somebody in a way that I believe in, that, maybe for the first year or 2 years or 3 years doesn't make me the big bucks or whatever it is. And maybe it's 10 years because that's how long I've been, doing music in Nashville and having it not come to fruition in the way that I would have wanted it to. But I'm happy. Mm-hmm. And it took me a long time to be like, I don't need to impress my parents in the way that I thought they needed to be impressed. Like I hopefully they can look at me and go, wow, my kid, I raised my kid to not care about the rest of the world. And my kid is one of the happiest people on the planet. Yeah. And my kid is a badass in her own right because of whatever it is she's doing. You know what I mean? Not because she's the senior whatever at Cat Financial or, you know what I mean? Who cares?
The label thing is so interesting because it really is just a made up thing. Mm-hmm. It's a made up thing, but there is so much pressure to achieve a certain thing. Oh, you're a principal at this thing, or you're a director at this thing. It's I don't think anybody really cares when you're dead. Mm-hmm. No. I think even you talking about being unemployed, and I hope you go back to what you're saying. I feel like we cut you off, but when you're 80 years old, you're not going to remember, you're not going to be and then at 29, I was unemployed for 6 months or whatever it was. You're not going to think about that. But if you make some really amazing memories over the next however long you're unemployed, you're going to freaking remember that. If you're going to make some new relationships, you're going to remember those relationships. You're not going to remember the time when you stopped showing up to one office and you had a break in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think part of it is kind of what Sheyda was just saying is I in the past have chosen jobs that I literally have negative interest in, couldn't care less about it, but I chose them because I wanted to have some sort of financially successful career. And that was a really big motivator for me. And not that I don't think money buys happiness, but I think it buys comfortability and it allows you to live a certain life. And that's always something that I've wanted, but at what sacrifice? You know what I mean? The sacrifice of me being miserable all the time, not being able to do the things I want. It's I'm making money, but I'm not even able to enjoy it and spend time with my friends. And I remember when I was talking to Summer about quitting my job, I was I just feel and not that it's going to solve all my problems. There will be problems down the road, but I feel I could be a better friend. I'll have more mental capacity to show up for things that I feel I haven't been able to in a long time. And that is so much more important than having a title, at least to me, and maybe not to everybody, but at least to me, that is something that I think I've lost in my life. I have put so much energy and so many eggs into my career basket that I haven't been able to enjoy the fruits of that labor with the people that I love the most. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely can relate to that too. I pursued music for a really long time as well. And I think I definitely kind of sold out to okay, I need to make some money now. And I remember feeling too, because I was pursuing music, but I was also nannying. And then I was also working at a bar on Broadway. And I remember after 2 years or a year and a half working on Broadway, I just remember feeling okay, no, I just know that I don't want to do this for a long time. It was physically hard on the body. It was late nights. And I was I don't really know what I want to do, but I know that I just don't want to do this. This is not going to make me happy. And I think getting into real estate, I definitely had a really hard time with my identity getting into real estate because I knew that there was like some professional element to it that I really needed to maintain. But I was 23 and I was still going out on Broadway and I was still doing Sunday Fun Day at Tin Roof. And like, I still was like wanting to be this like young person, but I felt like I had to button up really quickly and really sharply to like be able to do my job. And I think luckily with real estate, like I found a really good balance with it. And I'm very grateful for it, that it is financially good for me, but also timing, it's pretty good for me. But there is a little piece of me that definitely died when I stopped really pursuing the artist thing, you know, because you can relate to that. It's, well, not the dying part, but like
there is a piece of me that died because I full on was doing Iron Rock Entertainment and putting out music and writing every day and you know, all that stuff. And I think that there's an avenue back to that when this becomes what we want it to be. Yeah. But again, I feel like I've had to like reorganize and reshuffle the deck and be like, all right, like here, what's the different angle? What's the different road?
Well, and it's different too. You know, I think we both pursued it from a very young age, and I'll speak on my experience, which is like, I just remember this fire within me of being like, I know that this is going to happen. And I just felt so convicted that like by a certain age it was going to happen. And I just remember at some point feeling like, okay, well now I'm at an age where like, I don't think this is going to happen for me in the way that I envisioned it. And so let me pivot. And that is a really tough thing when your whole identity is, I'm going to be this. Or even like, I mean, even now when I talk to my parents on the phone, they'll be like, oh, so-and-so asked if you're still doing music. And it's like, yes, but I'm writing children's songs. Yes, but I'm doing voiceover work. Like, you know, it's like, and I've found so much joy in that and still remaining in it and doing it with my friends. But you know, there is such a difference. And I think going back to what you said about risking and taking the bet and betting on yourself, it's like, I wish I didn't step so far away from the creative aspect of it. I wish I didn't step so far away from it because I think that's a big part of who I am. And yeah, I think there's a part of me that's like, you need to get back to that aspect of your life.
Did you guys ever feel any kind of like internal, I mean, even when people ask you that question now, like, oh, like, what do you guys, like my mom asks about you guys all the time. And like, in my mom's mind, she thinks you guys are literally like Jennifer Lopez. Like you guys are like the most famous people she knows. She's always like, when's Sheyda's next song coming out? Like, well, how's her career? And I'm like, she is literally the next big thing, Mom. Just don't even worry about it. But like, do you guys feel any type of way about that at this point? Are you like comfortable in where you're at? And like, because I always think back, and this is like the craziest, most out of pocket question I've ever heard someone ask, but when we went to our friend's wedding, it was like after party, we were all sitting and this guy was just like, he just, I think was like looking to pick a fight.
He was an agitator. He just wanted to instigate something.
And he's like the type of person that like thinks he's a deep thinker and like thinks he's just above the world.
I know what
and
you're
he
gonna say,
asked, I'm not musically inclined whatsoever, but he asked like the girls in the room, he's like, how do you feel about like, or like, what was the moment like when you realized like your career was going nowhere or something?
Or like your dreams were dead.
Yeah. Like you were not going to make it. And I was like, that is insanely ruled.
First of all, Jelly got New Artist of the Year at 39 years old. Okay. I'm a solid 6 years away from that. So I'm really not going to listen to that fucking loser from nowhere. First of all, I wasn't even a person in that room, but I've heard the story before and it gets me tickled pink from the inside out, hot, red, angry. Second of all, to answer that question for myself, now having friends who are quote unquote famous or whatever it is and having gone out on the road, I would not want to be a touring artist. Like I would not. If I were to make my dream job or the job that I guess I'm working towards, it's in music specifically, it would be like a Sia career where she writes and she features on songs and she puts out music and every once in a while she'll pop out for a
wedding.
Performance, a wedding, but she lives on a mountain somewhere, and
that's actually so true. I've never seen her on tour.
And when she does, she's wearing a wig over her entire face, so you don't really pay attention to what she looks like.
So my artist like that is Flo Rida. Because you know what? That motherfucker's been featured on every single song. Yeah. He just lives in his mansion in Florida, and he's fat and happy now.
And every couple summers, he drops a banger.
A banger.
And
you know what? And then he'll like do a summer jam somewhere.
And he does crazy ass covers, and they sound so good.
Welcome to my house.
Oh my God.
Yes. That's the career I want. My dream is, and with the thing that I'm working toward and the thing that I'm envisioning is this blowing up and us doing wonderful, fun, big things with this and like expanding from podcast to being like, and also does Miami and also does, you know what I mean? Like fun things like that, going on tour with the podcast, that sort of things, not like big, like not like, 6-month tours, but like, a Wednesday through Saturday sort of thing.
Like month.
Yeah. And also like getting back into putting out music and being able to just put music out because I love music, and making a music video because I love the artistry of making a music video.
Right.
Maybe I'll have a little guest appearance in a movie one day. Who knows? Yeah. And then I'll have a beautiful man who loves me and puts babies in me, and that's about it. That's my whole thing.
I think part of that too, and maybe you can relate to this, is I think for a while it got really like there was a lot of pressure to do something with it. And I think getting over that now, it's like, I'm going to do it because I like to do it. I love to do it. I want to do it. Yes. I like to create. And I think getting to that point of the career, and I do think it is when you get maybe a little bit further into the 20s and the 30s or whoever, it's like there is a way to be in music. There's a way to create without being Taylor Swift, without being these big artists,
and
whatever.
Some people don't like, I think when you're young too, you think that's the only way that could be categorized as successful.
Right.
When in reality, like a lot of people who get into that space aren't happy. They're like, shit.
And you can't go back once you're
you can't go back.
famous.
Like you cannot go back. And then if you just shut down, then you're a flop. Then you're like a one-hit wonder or whatever it is. And it's like, no, I just hated this.
Yeah.
Like I love that like Gretchen Wilson, she like put out all our music and then she was like, peace, thank you so much, I'm done. I'm gonna go move to like a mountain in Montana.
Love it.
And like that's it. I'm done with you guys. And then she like came back in her 40s and she's like, I'll pop out for a performance or two and I'm gonna release a new album because I feel like it. But you know what I mean? She just was just like, I'm done.
I think like success it looks so different now. Like one of my favorite successes is like a song that I did with my friends that got placed on like 7 different random reality TV shows. Like every time we'd get a little placement, maybe we're making $500, $1,000, whatever. I'm like, I am a paid musician. Like I am making money.
Yes,
like,
you are.
But you didn't even know that was an option.
I didn't even know it was an option. And it's like, even like the children's stuff, it's like, okay, the fact that my voice is on a children's toy that is around the world, the fact that my nieces and nephews are playing my voice in their apartment in New York City, I'm like, no, like I made it, y'all. I made it.
Well, you did. You did. You just didn't make it the way you thought like 15-year-old Summer
and that's life.
was going to make it.
We're not doing anything the way that we thought we'd be doing it. Let's be so honest. But like we're still doing it. And I think finding like the gratitude, the happiness, rolling with it is the most important thing about it.
100%.
Yeah. It definitely, I think society plays a huge role in the like decisions and the outlook that we can have on certain things. And again, when you're 16, it's like, if I'm not Taylor Swift by the time I'm 25 and I'm not married with 3 kids also at the same time, I have failed. And like my music career will go nowhere. But I think you guys have both found, but it's like relatable in any sense of like, when I was 16, I never thought that like I would be where I'm at in terms of careers, unemployed right now. But I think it's just like, you kind of have to roll with the punches and just figure it out as you go. And you never think that that's how like adulthood is. You know what I mean? You think like, okay, I'm an adult. I should have it all figured out. I should know exactly what I'm doing. I should be at my job and like loving it every day and super successful. And it only looks like A, but you don't even explore B, C, D, E, F, G options in your mind because you don't even know they're there. But it's just an interesting like pullback once
I don't think anybody has it figured out.
No.
I don't think anybody has it figured out.
No, but I think the takeaway in life, and especially today, is 1, the goal in life should be happy. You know what I mean? Like, and nobody knows what that looks like. And maybe you have a general idea of like, it's music or it's construction or it's mechanics or it's whatever it is, right? Like the goal should be happy. Like, where does joy take me? Where does happiness take me? And following that and knowing that that's going to get you where you need to go. And 2, like not comparing yourself to others. Like, and
That's a big
you know, your joy doesn't look the same as somebody else's. What brings you peace is not going to be what brings me peace. And like being okay with that. And it all comes when it's supposed to come.
Yeah.
I feel like the timeline thing is definitely a lot easier said than done, because that is so applicable to like everything, not just careers, money, but like relationship, marriage, kids. I think about all the time the fact that my 2 older brothers, in the fact that, I mean, we're from Boston, so like getting married at like 27 is like their child bride.
Young.
That's young. Here, that's like your geriatric getting married.
Yeah.
But I think they both, like, my older brothers are like relationship people. They've always had relationships. They loved being in relationships. They got married young. They had kids young. And in my mind, sometimes I look at them, I'm like, I'm so sad that like my kids might not be the same age, or like my kids are going to be the younger grandkids than their like cousins. And I always am like, oh God, like, should I have like done something different? Should I have gotten married younger? Should I have like moved back home? But at the same time, I'm like, not that they've missed out, but like their 20s look so different than my 20s. And I'm sure their like 40s and 50s and 60s will look very different than mine. Yeah. Like I might have a freaking 20-year-old and their kids are all having kids at that age. Yeah. So it's just like different, and I wouldn't change a thing. But I think that is like also a kind of thing that you look back on, you're like, oh, should I have settled down sooner? Should I have like stepped into a different phase of life earlier? But I like where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But I think that's like a hard thing to look at of other people getting married, having kids. And now we know people that are having like their fucking second kid. And it's like, how are you on your second?
My little brother is pregnant with his second.
I feel like they've been pregnant forever. When does that kid due? They've been cooking out.
October. What? October.
Wait, my brother's having a baby in October too.
Oh my gosh.
My oldest brother having a third.
Brendan?
Third kid.
Wait,
I got 0. Yeah.
What? Since when?
I don't know.
You didn't tell me this.
They just casually dropped it. Like they're on their 3rd kid. They're like, hey, now's a good time to just tell you like new baby coming in October. They're over it. Aww. They're like, yeah.
I got a call I got a call before they even knew for sure that she was pregnant, because she was like puking. Anthony was like, she's definitely pregnant again. She's definitely pregnant
How
again.
many kids do you guys want?
Anthony wants a basketball team. I would love to have at least 2. I think ideally I'd love like 4. I follow this girl on Instagram or TikTok, or I even think I follow her. I think she pops up all the time. And she has 4 boys and then 1 little girl. And the boys range from like, please.
She needs a sister.
She needs a sister.
The boys range from like 10 to 4, and she's like 2. And every night she goes to say goodbye to them, like a good night. And because they all have later bedtimes than her, and they're all laying on the couch, and they all pull her up and like give her the biggest hugs. She's like, good night, guys. I love you so much.
It's cute at this age, but she's going to want a sister.
I could not, like, the literal biggest regret of my life is not having a sister. I used to think like I could never have one. All I want is one.
Really?
Yes. Oh my gosh. My brothers are like, because I think it's always
Let me ask you a superficial question.
Yeah.
What if you could have a sister right now, okay? But you'd be the ugly one?
That's okay.
You're sure?
Do I still look?
You'd be like definitively the ugly one.
Do I still look like myself?
I can't guarantee that. You just have to know.
So I get uglier.
Maybe.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would still want one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Think about this.
Okay. This question is insane.
I think about this often because, like,
what would you do?
No, death to her and her bloodline, which is mine. But
what?
Death to her. No,
that's crazy.
Nah, couldn't do that.
I feel like as long as I look like how I look now, if she's hotter than me,
so I
even
technically
better.
have a foster sister, but she is stunning, but we technically look so different that there isn't really a comparison to be made between the two of us, and that makes me happy.
Madison.
Oh my God.
Because you always you go, Madeline. Yeah. Yeah. Sheyda's like your grandma that like goes through a list of names before she gets to yours, and it's like, come on, like,
oh yeah. When I'm calling
Sophia,
you,
Madison,
I do that.
Madeline.
It's not good.
It's so embarrassing.
Sorry that my brain doesn't work the way you want it to.
Yeah. Anyhow, I think how many kids? For societal purposes, a girl should have a sister. I think it's just a built-in, like, it's good for society to have someone. It makes you more resilient. My brothers did their best to make me as resilient as possible, but now they're abandoning me. Now they're like,
oh, because they found their wives?
No. But they're just like, it's a different connection in the sense that like,
you can't tell them all your secrets and stuff.
No, I could for sure. But they're just like, they're men at the end of the day. And they're like, oh, we're just going to go do guy stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
you know what's super interesting is, so I have 3 older brothers. And then I have my younger sister, Lily. And then my youngest brother, Russell, who we thought Russell was going to be a girl, but he's not. Wouldn't that have been fun? But what's interesting is that my 3 older brothers, granted, they're much older than my youngest brother, but are just such different men. Because Russell had 2 older sisters.
Russell was raised by women.
And Russell is such a great partner. Russell is, love you, Russell. Like, you and they're engaged, they're getting married, they're 25 and they're engaged. That's young. But like, they just knew that they were going to get married. They knew that they were life partners. They know how many kids you're going to have. They just know what their life is going to look like. And they just, it's so cute. He's so much different though than my older brothers. Like, definitively so much different.
Literally a man that has an older sister is a completely different man than like a guy who only has younger sisters. They're still good in the sense that like they're exposed to like what living with a woman is like, and especially like a hormonal, like I put my family through absolute hell when I was like going through puberty. I was a nightmare, like an absolute terror. But I think like now their wives are reaping the benefits of my craziness, because it's like, Madeline's crazy. You're not even touching the surface of how she behaved.
Could you imagine if your brothers didn't have you?
Correct. They would be
feral.
To society. They would be
Dogs.
Dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I can't imagine what Anthony would be like if he didn't have me and mom.
Yeah, like you just you check them in
Anthony's
a different
like
way.
6'3", 240, covered in tattoos, sometimes has a mullet. And he is a feral animal, an animal of a human. He's also married with about to have a second child, but he is so good to his wife. And to this day, like, and he can be a little temperamental sometimes to this day though. And, you know, I haven't always gotten along with my sister-in-law, but I'll always defend her. Like, I'll catch Anthony catch an attitude and I'll be like, I will take a knife to your throat, you insignificant swine. Like, I lose my mind on him. I'm like, you will respect her. And he's like, Jesus Christ, you're psycho. But it's important to have a sister if you're a man, I think. Carmen actually had a theory. She's like, I can't date men without sisters. And now, of course, she's head over heels for.
She really did.
She's head over heels for a man with no sisters.
A firstborn man is different, I think.
A firstborn man is different.
Especially raised by a good woman. Because my mom beat the fuck out of my oldest
great or
brother.
they're awful because they're a mama's boy in like a really weird way.
Yeah. No, my mom like basically was like, my first child was like my personal assistant constantly. Like my brother has like, he just like knows stuff all the time. He's like, oh, and you're using the wrong polish on that, like that piece of wood. And I'm like,
why do you know that?
So my mom beat it into him. She was like, he was my personal assistant. We ran parties together. We ran dinner nights together. Like he's got his shit together when it comes to that. And
he knows where the forks and knife go. He knows how to set the table.
Insane.
Yeah. But I would have a sister. I've told Nick, I was like, if we have kids, like 1, we have to have daughters, 2 at least. And then I would be happy with 2 girls and 1 boy. I would love 4.
See, I want more boys than girls.
That's unfortunate.
All right, ladies, let's round this out. So we were just talking about things we did in our 20s that we maybe regret. Do as we say, not as we did. Round it out. What's one piece of advice, one thing that you would take away from this episode?
I still circle back to what I said at the beginning is like take more risks. And I think like trust your gut more, and like lean into your, I don't want to say like the best parts of you. Cause like that's what you're going to be the most successful at. Like nothing about me screams I should be behind a computer from 9 to 5. Like, that's not my personality. But I've been doing it for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think if I had taken more risks on myself younger, I think I would be in a much different like position. And so I think like betting on yourself and leaning into the best parts of you will make you as successful in all facets of life.
Yeah. Sheyda?
She took the words right out of my mouth. Do the thing. Do the thing you're scared to do. Do the thing you want to do. Ask for more of people in your life, whether they're best friends, boyfriends, parents, whatever. Be brutally honest in who you are, what you want, and what you expect of everyone around you. And just believe in yourself. That's it.
Just dream.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Wait, Summer! Come on.
You said it. You said the words.
To quote my friend Madeline.
To quote my beautiful ginger friend Madeline. Bet on yourself.
No, come up with your own.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Don't give jamokes the time of day because they're not worth the time of day. You have so much to give the world. Don't cut yourself short. Okay?
Perfect.
And get back to your creative self because that's what you are. Create more than you consume. Okay?
That's good.
Love you. Thank you for watching the And Also podcast.
Why
Summer's like always closing out like a Vegas residency.
I love it. Sorry,
that's like
the
the drama.
Barstool at 3 a.m. over here.